Thank you very much for joining me for this session of Dr. Plotzker's Mind. One of my great joys each year, a means of immense satisfaction, has been to help a statewide charitable foundation score the scholarship applications that they receive. A number of donors endow money to give to worthy students and allow the foundation to decide which students get the awards. I came about this project in an unusual way. A famous speaker, a man named Robert Putnam, who is world renowned for his book Bowling Alone, came to my town to give a speech on a subsequent book. It was this foundation that sponsored the speech. Having read his book not that long before and being very enthusiastic about its content, I paid a pretty fair entry fee to go hear him. And I was not disappointed. The foundation took advantage of having the audience there, and after the presentation in an adjoining room to the auditorium, they set up a series of tables to describe the activities of the foundation and to solicit people who would be interested in volunteering for it. I found the scholarship initiative something that I might like to do, signed up for it, and have now been doing it for a few years. Being who I think is the only physician on the panel, they preferentially assign me the applications of the people who are already postgraduate, usually medical school, though some law students, as well as my reasonable share of undergrads entering college. I have found the work rewarding, but the process still needs to be tweaked. Like most things in America today, whether the places you shop or the doctors who treat you, you are often more processed through than thought about. What I found with the 20 or so applications that I am asked to read each year, the formal scoring system breaks down. Everybody has the same grades. Everybody is going to a medical school, one predominant one that has an affiliation with our state. Everybody gets top recommendations, and everybody did some form of research as an undergrad, which is how they got admitted to medical school over intense competition. So that when I fill out the scoring grades, they all come out on top. Everybody looks the same. There really isn't a good way to distinguish people other than comments that they make about themselves, about things that they did, and how well they express it, or by what other people say about them. Even there, recommendations from major universities with large faculties have become automated, that each professor who's been doing this any length of time has a series of basic form letters that he keeps in a file. And then when there's a request, he takes what he thinks would be the best form letter, all generously supported, and finds a few things to say about the applicant. Now, doing this, a couple of the applicants really do stand out by the specificity of what the um, sponsoring faculty had to say about them. The downside, though, is that some people are better at writing recommendations than others. So there is a certain amount of luck in the skill of the person you ask, selecting what needs to be in the letter beyond what's in his or her files of previous letters. The net result is that you have a lot of people who look the same but are not exactly the same. To make it worse, the person who I would want to give money to does not always have the best score. They may have gotten a couple of B's on their transcript, but that was offset by volunteer work they did for people at the margins, something I'm very sympathetic to. So the scoring system doesn't really do all that well in differentiating people, and puts some people at a disadvantage when looking at the composite rather than the computerized score. They would stand out favorably. I don't know how to fix this. It should be fixed. There's never been a person who's received a grant from the foundation who is unworthy of it. So it's not that money is going to people who shouldn't have it, but not always to the people who should have it the most. Thank you so much for sharing this session of Dr. Plotzker's Mind.